Hello. Up to 400,000 secret American military files about the Iraq war have been published in the last few hours, the largest leak of classified documents in US history. They've been obtained by the website Wikileaks, which 3 months ago published similar classified documents concerning the war in Afghanistan. Our correspondent Adam Brooks has had brief access to the documents. He explained a little earlier some of the more striking claims.
Some things are really grabbing people's attention tonight, and the first of them is this. The documents contain quite easily findable evidence of very serious abuses carried out by Iraqi security forces against their own detainees. Now, these are American reports in these documents, so they demonstrate that American forces were aware of much of this abuse taking place by Iraqi security forces. I mean, a couple of examples. We found an account written by an American unit where a victim in May 2007 had acid poured all over him by Iraqi security forces, third-degree acid burns, beatings, his toes and fingers had to be amputated. Nobody was arrested in that case, we're told. This report went into the American chain of command, and it's not clear to us if there was ever any further action. There are numerous others like this. One man in February last year, blindfolded, handcuffed, beaten, stress positions, electrocuted, hung from the ceiling by his arms, again by personnel of the Iraqi army. And at the bottom of the American report were the words, "No further investigation." So the suggestion that arises from an admittedly very cursory and initial look at these documents is that, yes, the Americans were aware of quite a lot of this abuse, and for some reason and some points over the years decided not to do anything about it.
Adam Brooks. Let's speak now to Jeff Jarvis, a new media journalist and author who joins us via Skype from the United States. So the information published by Wikileaks, picked up by established media, does that make it more responsible now, having gone through the prism of newspapers here and international TV stations?
Well, we'll see. Publications like The Guardian, along with Le Monde and Der Spiegel and New York Times, picked out the pieces that they wanted to put up there and did so without trying to endanger people by name. But WikiLeaks has said that they'll put up all of it soon. And I really think the bottom line lesson here to governments and the companies as well is that you can't do anything guaranteed in secret anymore.
I suppose the problem is we don't know whether these documents that were classified show prima facie evidence of what had happened, or these were just reports that US soldiers picked up on in terms of hearsay.
Well, yes and no. There's 400,000 documents here. One of the sites in France, Auni, put them up so that people can try to dig into them and find out what's interesting and what's important there. So buried in here into this incredible volume of primary source material is going to be news. This is really the coming to the age of, I think, data journalism. The idea that putting up raw primary documents online becomes a new form of news and journalism. As Alan Rusbridger, the editor of The Guardian, said on Twitter tonight, it's a really amazing moment in journalism to watch this happening.
Yeah, so when the Pentagon and White House says these are raw observations, these are just snapshots, trying to denigrate perhaps the quality of this, I mean, the point is that in the right hands and put through the prism of context, it is very powerful.
Exactly, and that's where the journalists add value, one hopes, which is providing context and reporting and so on. But I think that the lesson still remains that these incredible volume of documents can come out, and so there is no holding back. We're entering an age of radical transparency.
Do you think WikiLeaks has learnt some lessons from 3 months ago and the very strong criticism then of all the documents on Afghanistan coming out, with any chance for the authorities to redact names?
We'll see. We don't know what WikiLeaks itself is going to do in the full course of this story. What they did learn was that it was useful to work with big media partners. Last time with the Afghanistan story, they had 3, and now they put it out with many, including Al Jazeera and Le Monde, and many other sources are putting up the data in all kinds of ways. And also, interestingly, the sources had, I asked Alan Rusbridger of The Guardian in Twitter tonight, and he said they've had it for weeks with this embargo, and so many of them have put them up in really quite incredible graphics as well. If you look at Der Spiegel, they've done an amazing job of matching war maps to the deaths.
Yeah, and just very briefly, I just wondered what defence could be used by the whistleblower if the whistleblower is actually found to be the man who's under arrest at the moment. I mean, is there a defence for doing this now, and is that going to be pursued actively in the United States?
Well, we'll see. The Pentagon is surely going to go after whoever did this, but there is a new ethic of transparency that just hits the world, and whether this person does it, pardon me, or someone else does it, secrets are dead.
Jeff Jarvis, thanks very much for speaking to us via Skype there from the United States. Now here, Britain's newest and most high-tech nuclear